Hello, hello, ladies. Here we go. It is day 7. Who is ready for this? Who is ready for day 7? Let me tell you, ladies, I'm ready for day 7. By the time day 7 comes around, I'm so relaxed. I'm so enjoying the energy of the group. I more or less know who's going to show up, who's going to be here. I'm getting to know you a little bit virtually. And because this class is not a class I really have to prepare for, this is the easiest class for me. Let's put it that way. So this probably is one of my favorite classes because I just have to sit here and answer all the beautiful questions that you ladies have sent me, which are amazing questions, by the way. You're thinking through this. You're thinking through this process. You're not just sitting here and listening to me and not processing. You're listening and you're processing, and you are thinking ahead, and you're thinking about how you're going to go through this process, what might come up for you in this process. So amazing, and I love, love, love that you all do that. Let me just see. Whoever's here, you know how it works, ladies. If you're here, let me know, comment and say hello so I know who's here. I have quite a few questions to answer today for all of you who submitted questions, and then after I answer your questions, I'm going to walk you through the modules of the Hormone Reset Program Level 1 so that you really understand what it is you're going to do, what it is you're going to learn. And I'm going to walk you through the modules for Level 1 and Level 2 so that you get the whole picture. All right, let me just see who's here. Say hello, ladies. Say hello in the comments. Say hi. Say I'm here. Say I'm excited. Let me know what you're excited about, and we can get started. Let me go and start with the questions because we have quite a few questions. We want to make sure that we get through them all, and they're, like I said, they're great questions. The first few questions is from Iman, and Iman won the program. I mean, I love it. Iman won the program, so Iman is gonna get to do the program. She gets to have all her questions answered during the program. She gets to have all her symptoms reversed, but she is so invested that she still submitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, even though she's good to go. She's going to be in the program. She's going to have me. She's going to have my attention. She's going to have the material. She's going to have the information. But hey, I still get to ask questions. I'm going to ask questions. She's not relaxing just because she gets to do the program. And that's what commitment looks like. That's what making it a non-negotiable looks like. That's what going all in looks like. So, Iman, she wants to know, how can I know if I have Candida or not, as I did a Candida protocol 15 years ago, and it involved foods that you mentioned to be eliminated for their hormonal effects. If you're not sure if you have Candida or not, there are some symptoms that are very, very strong that are an indicator of Candida. If you don't want to go do a test, you can always go do a test for Candida. But if we're just going with symptoms, if you get regular skin and nail fungal infections, that's a sign of Candida. If you are always, always tired or suffering from chronic fatigue, that's a sign of Candida. If you're always bloated or constipated or you have diarrhea, that's Candida. If you have skin issues, eczema, psoriasis, hives, rashes, if you get vaginal infections all the time, like not just one vaginal infection a year, right? If they're recurring, maybe an infection every month, an infection every 2 months, urinary tract infections, again, chronic, not if you get one urinary tract infection a year. Any kind of rectal itching, right? So if you feel like the opening of your rectum where you poop, if that itches, if you have vaginal itching, those are all signs of Candida also. And if you have really, really strong, overpowering cravings for sugar and carbohydrates, because Candida, remember, it lives in your digestive gut. That's what it feeds on. So the more Candida, and we already all have Candida, It's part of your digestive system. The problem is when you get an overgrowth of candida. You know you have an overgrowth because they become so voracious and they become so hungry, and what they love is sugar and carbohydrates. So they give you the signal constantly that this is what they want to be fed, and you don't know that it's candida there. You think that you don't have willpower. You think that, you know, you are just weak in front of food. You think that you're never going to be able to give up sugar. But there's actually either candida, super, super strong, it's basically dictating what you eat, or there's just a biochemical addiction to sugar. In both cases, it's not your fault. This is so key for you to remember. So if you have the combination of strong cravings, the infections, vaginal infections, urinary tract infections, itching, you get tired, you have skin issues, chances are quite high that we're looking at candida. All right. Iman's second question. She says, I drink Arabic coffee with a touch of honey, and I thought it mainly had a mix of herbs than the coffee we are used to. I believe that Arabic coffee is, yes, more of a mix of herbs. I'm not sure of the ingredients, but if it's got caffeine, then it's still caffeine and would still have to go. I don't think it has as much caffeine as, like, you know, American coffee, Turkish coffee, but if it's got caffeine, it still has to go. Her third question, do supplements like moringa and kurkum help at all or better avoid? Yes, they definitely help. And there's a whole section in level 2 that I teach you about supplements and herbs and essential oils. But the reason they come in level 2 is because they're not quite as effective and they don't actually work unless you create the nutritional foundation first. So if you have like all the symptoms I just talked about, candida symptoms, for example, and you're eating the traditional, what everybody eats, inflammatory plan of bread and cheese and coffee and sugar and, you know, all of the foods that we talked about that are inflammatory, and then you want to bring in a little bit of moringa, or you want to bring in a little bit of turmeric or kurkum or ginger or lemon, what are they going to do? It's like, you know, now that we're in, we started the Khamaseen weather, it's like you trying to go clean your balcony in the middle of a Khamaseen storm. It doesn't work. You need to wait for the storm to pass. You need to clear the storm first, and then definitely bring in supplements and herbs and essential oils. And I teach you how to do all of that in level 2. We have a special essential oil blends. I tell you exactly which supplements to take, which herbs to take, after we have cleared your body and after we've created a strong nutritional foundation first. So definitely they work. You just have to be smart about how they're going to work and when they're going to work. Then she says, baby shampoo and Johnson products, are they safe and allowed or also toxic? All toxic. Every single Johnson & Johnson product is toxic, especially if you've ever heard about their baby powder issue. They had to, I forget what they did, if they recalled it or not, but it was discovered that their baby powder causes cancer. They had to pay out millions of dollars in payouts to people who developed cancer as a result of their products. So all Johnson & Johnson products are out. Next question. I read a couple of articles about the inflammatory effects of raw tomatoes. So tomatoes and potatoes and eggplant and bell peppers, in theory, belong to a group of vegetables called nightshades. And they're called nightshades just because of the way they're grown. They grow in the dark, they grow in the soil. So there is a theory, and it's an incorrect theory, that these vegetables can create inflammation in the body. Tomatoes, potatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, and there's a couple of other ones. It is not correct. There's so many theories that sort of pop up to try and explain what happens. The reason they think they're inflammatory, or the reason that it looks like there's a correlation between when you eat it and you have an adverse reaction to it, is that these vegetables, and all fruits and vegetables, go in and clear out pathogens and viruses and bacteria and toxins. So, and especially with people who have joint pain, for example, tomatoes specifically, when you eat a tomato, it literally will go into where you have the arthritis, and arthritis is just a collection of sort of pathogens and toxins in your joints. It will go in and clear those out. So you might have arthritis, you might have joint pain or any kind of inflammation. Eat a tomato or a potato or an eggplant and feel that your condition gets worse. What's actually happening is the tomato, the potato, the eggplant, they're going in and clearing out those pathogens and those toxins. So the result of that, the result of the clearing process, you feel it as discomfort. But the longer you do, so then you remove tomatoes. You remove the tomatoes and then you feel better and you think, oh, well, the problem was the tomatoes. No, because your joint pain continues. It's not like you remove tomatoes and your joint pain or your arthritis is gone. It's still there. So the problem wasn't tomatoes to start with. And what you were feeling with the tomatoes was the process of clearing that the tomatoes does. You stop eating the tomatoes, you stop feeling the discomfort because no other food heals like tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables. So when you feel that, when you're going through that process, you need to keep at it. You need to keep going. If you listen to Nihed, the day before yesterday, she was eating plenty of raw tomatoes and all the vegetables and potatoes and everything. And she has completely 100% reversed her pain, her arthritis pain, which is a form of inflammation. Let's see, Iman had a couple more questions. One more question. What about the allergies and the medication that has cortisone? Again, allergies have their root cause in inflammation in your body. There is something that is creating an imbalance in the body, and your body is reacting by having an allergy to, if you have springtime allergies, hay fevers, whatever. Cortisone, remember, is a derivative, a man-made version of your natural cortisol that doctors will prescribe whenever there's a flare-up in the body, whether that's an allergic flare-up, whether that's a massive infection, whether that's like a virus that attacks your body. Like I know cortisone is being given to COVID patients because it's given to calm everything down quickly. But it does calm everything down. It doesn't get to the root cause. It doesn't go in and eliminate the reason why you have the allergy to start with, or the reason why you got the infection to start with. So it helps in the moment. It's not a long-term solution. All right. Those were all of your questions, Iman. Can you please let me know if I've answered them for you sufficiently or if you have any follow-up questions? Next is, I don't know if it's Aya or Alaya. I apologize. She wants to know, is it possible to have a treat? Is it possible to have a treat with any of the foods that should be avoided? For instance, once a week. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if you guys can tell, my background changed yesterday. I'm actually in Guna, and I'm actually sitting in the bathroom to do this class. It's the most private space in the hotel room. I just had dinner with my family. I just had a burger and I just had French fries with the burger because I'm on vacation. And yes, you can incorporate some of the things that you love and don't want to give up. In my case, I love burgers. For me, like a really great meal is the burger and the French fries and the Diet Pepsi, right? I don't go and eat all out the way I used to eat in vacations previously. Like 10 years ago, vacation meant the all open breakfast buffet, like everything in the buffet, right? And then lunch was like everything, and in between desserts and ice creams, and dinner was like massive. It was like really like revenge. And even though because I was in the dieting mode, I would diet and like restrict. Now, obviously, we have a life to live, and we have families, and we have friends, and we have a social life. What happens is that you get to choose what you want to continue eating and what you don't want to continue eating. For me, it's not an all out anymore. I don't want, like if I go to a breakfast buffet, I don't want everything that's there. That changes. I know that this is really right now difficult to conceptualize, but when you shift how you eat, you change what you want. So when I go and look at a buffet full of everything, I don't feel weak. I don't feel under pressure, like I have to force myself not to eat something, I truly don't want 95% of what is on that buffet, because I know that what it does to me and I know how it works with my body. A burger, I love a burger, but does it mean I have a burger every week? No. Does it mean that I have what we call a cheat meal? And I don't like them to call them cheat meals, but let's just call them that for lack of a better word. No, you decide and you get to choose what you want to eat and when you want to eat it, because you completely change the biochemical makeup of your body. You're not programmed that I've been deprived all week, so I have to reward myself on the weekend. It's not that kind of a system. You are feeling good and you are fueling your body, and that motivates you. So that even on the weekends, initially you might, because it takes time to move out of that programming. But afterwards, you can go for a whole month and never feel like you want anything except your healthy food. For me, a lot of times that's how it is. Then I come on a trip like this and everybody's relaxed and it's just a tradition. Me and my husband and my kids, we love burgers, we love eating out and having things like, so I have it. And then here's the other really, really big difference is that before I would go on a trip and just eat everything in sight. And then when I come back from the trip, I have a really hard time then going back to whatever diet I was on or restricting myself again. It was like, oh God, I have to start. It was like going back to zero every single time and getting myself back there. With this, by the end of the trip, we can't wait to go back home to have our healthy food. That's how it works. So we're leaving here on Wednesday, inshallah. I know without a doubt that by the time Wednesday is here, my husband and my daughter, maybe not my son is 13 and he's in that like rebellious phase. My husband and my daughter and myself, we're going to say at a different point in time, we're going to say, oh, I can't wait to go home and have my celery juice tomorrow. Oh, please. And my husband is already saying, yeah, you know what? When we get back, let's do 3 days of just juicing. We enjoy it for what it is, but it doesn't hold us back. And we also love our healthy way of life that we can't wait to go back to it. So you have this incredible balance and the body's really smart and it adjusts and it adapts with you. So to answer your question, Alia or Aliyah, I don't know which one it is. Yes, of course it is. You can still enjoy your favorite foods, but you've fortified your body to an extent and you've worked on your mindset to such an extent that you have it, you enjoy it. There's no guilt and there's no addiction that comes back. So you're not stuck with it. You have it, you enjoy it, you're done, you move on with your life. You go and continue with your new lifestyle, which is the healthy lifestyle. All right. Let me know if that answers the question for you. And if you need a follow-up to that, please, Alia. Next is we have a couple of questions from Hanya. Hanya is saying, I'm happy that I got this chance to attend the classes that passed. I started believing a few years ago that anything related to our health has to do with what we eat. Absolutely. You are what you eat. You just are. She says, my question is that I am 48 years old and I have fatty liver. Is there a chance to have my liver back to normal after all the unhealthy eating habits the past few years? Absolutely, 100% yes. And that's why I'm teaching this class. I'm telling you that no matter what symptom you have today, if you've been diagnosed with fatty liver or diabetes or an autoimmune, hypertension, thyroid, MS, whatever it is, or if you have night sweats, you have constant fatigue, you have brain fog, you have heavy periods, painful periods, you have acne, you have psoriasis, you have candida, it doesn't matter what it is, all of those are 100% reversible given that you follow the steps. So they're not going to reverse on their own. They're not going to get better on their own. They might recede a little bit, flare up a little bit, recede, come back again, in cycles like that, but they're never going away until you take the intentional action to help them reverse and help them go away. The body is incredible. It is so resilient. It's literally just waiting for you. It's just waiting for you to give it a chance to show you what it can do. And with all of the symptoms that it's giving you, it's trying to communicate with you. A symptom and a condition, they're not lifetime sentences. They're not diseases. They are dis eases. There's signs that the body is struggling and the body is trying to communicate with you to tell you something is not quite right here. Help me out here, because you can help it and because you can 100% reverse fatty liver, diabetes, high blood pressure, MS, autoimmune, all of it, if you do what's required to do. So yes, to answer your question, Hanya, yes. She says, my dad also has fatty liver. He started to have very few scars or cirrhosis. It's only in the beginning. Is there any chance to fix the damage? 100% yes. It doesn't matter what age you are. You give the body the right tools. You give it the chance. It will reverse. You have to follow the steps and the recommendations. Although I am an addict to chocolate, I didn't eat any the past few days. Honestly, so scared to go next to it. I used to finish eating a jar of Nutella by spoon and condensed milk. Is there a change to fix all this? Yes, the change to fix all of this is the hormone reset program. I show you exactly how to change all this. It's not a mystery. It's not a question of if you will change it. It's a question of when will you change it, because when will you decide to make the change? So yes, there is a change. There is a fix for all of this. And she says, I can eat healthy food, but I can never drink the celery juice. I hate the flavor. You heard the ladies yesterday. You heard Fedwa tell you, and you heard Manhal both say that they really don't love the celery, but they drink it because they have felt the difference. They have felt the healing powers of it, and it's incredibly healing. And I love the celery, to be perfectly honest. Sometimes it depends on the actual celery stalk. Sometimes they're a bit more bitter. Sometimes it's more bitter. Sometimes it's a very neutral taste. When you have the one that's a completely neutral taste, there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's very easy to drink. But regardless of what the taste is, the benefit, the clearing the brain fog, the getting rid of fatigue. If you have constipation, it gets rid of constipation. It helps to clear out your skin. It helps with everything. You know, drink it with a straw like Fedwa. It takes 3 minutes to drink it. Why not? Drink it because it's going to make you feel better. And Hanya, I say this lovingly, don't take yourself out of the game. Don't remove or get in the way of your healing potential before you've even started. So don't decide, I'm not going to have celery. Already you are taking a little, actually this is a big piece of your healing potential away. Anytime you start to think, oh, I don't want to drink the celery juice right now, that's a perfect example of the critter brain talking, right? Like the critter brain is, everything is making sense. So what can I pick out that's going to potentially get in her way? Oh, you know what? She heard yesterday that the celery is really bad and she's tried it. I'm going to zero in on that. I'm going to keep reminding her that the celery juice is awful. She can't drink celery juice. This is a perfect example of the critter brain trying to sabotage you. So be very, very, pay attention, pay close attention to what your critter brain is. And it might be different for each one of you, what that excuse is. All right, Hanya, please tell me again if I've answered all your questions or if you have any follow-ups. I think our last set of questions comes from Minna. She says, question number 1, most of the ladies we heard had medical issues, severe pains, obesity problems, etc. For me, I only suffer 4 or 5 days a month, so I can't help but wonder, will this really be worth changing my lifestyle so drastically? Specifically that baking is very important to me. It's therapeutic in every way. I love doing it, love the smell in the house, and finally enjoying the outcome with my kids. How can I give this up? Okay, 2 parts to this question. The first part is really important. If you are not suffering huge symptoms right now, and you don't have a diagnosed medical condition, and you don't have, I think it was Nihed who said, my back is against the wall. If that's not you, you still have to change your lifestyle, because just because you're not experiencing symptoms now doesn't mean that these foods are not going to create a disease later on. These foods are inflammatory, and they're inflammatory for everybody. It might be showing up for you right now. It might show up in 5 years. It might show up in 10 years. When somebody develops, maybe in their 50s and 60s, diabetes, and it's like all of a sudden they get diabetes, or all of a sudden they get cancer, or all of a sudden they get Alzheimer's, or all of a sudden they get a heart disease, it's not actually all of a sudden. inflammation is silent. This is why it's very dangerous. So actually, those of you who are experiencing symptoms are quite lucky, because your body is not silent anymore. It's showing you that there are signs of inflammation. For a lot of people, inflammation is silent, going on for years and years and years and years, and then suddenly blows up into something really big. So no, you absolutely have to change your lifestyle so drastically so that you don't have a drastic wake-up call in a few years. And this lifestyle is not a drastic change. Disease is drastic. Living with any disease is drastic. Living with diabetes is drastic. Living with any kind of pain is drastic. Living with an autoimmune is drastic. Not being able to get up and do what you need to do every day is drastic. So what this lifestyle does, it gives you back your life. So again, this is where her critter brain is trying to trick her, right? Oh, this life, that's drastic. That's drastic. Nobody can live like this. Why do this? You only have a few symptoms. You don't need to go through this incredible change, and like, you love to bake and you love that feeling with your kids. That's her critter brain trying to stop her from making the change. To that point though, you can still bake, but you're going to bake differently, right? You can bake with almond flour, coconut flour. You can bake with all the ingredients that are not so inflammatory. And if not, you still want to bake in the traditional way, you still can, but not as often. And then when you do, because the rest of your days are filled with non-inflammatory foods, those few times that you bake are not going to be, they're not going to affect you. Or if it's about time with your kids, right? Your kids don't, it's not about what you're making with your kids. It's just about having the time with your kids. So you can switch whatever it is you're making with them. Teach them how to make healthy smoothies. Teach them how to make incredible fruit salads. Teach them how to make celery juice. You're still going to be with them in the kitchen. You're still going to have that bonding time. So it's not necessarily about what you're making, but how you're spending your time together. So definitely what we do if you don't have symptoms is you are preventing symptoms from appearing later on. It is disease prevention, because you don't want to find yourself in 5, 10, 15 years with a serious disease that pops up. These foods are inflammatory. They're inflammatory and disease causing for everyone. Her second question, also from what I got, those ladies have only been on the program for 6 months. How about the ones that have been there longer? I'm not very clear on this. If you're here, Minna, let me see. Let me check the group. Okay, ladies, you're asking me, can you hold off on your questions, please? Because if they scroll down, I won't be able to see them. So hold off until I finish answering these questions. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Minna, but the ones that have been there longer see more results. So 6 months is the duration combined of level 1 and level 2. There's also a level 3. By the time they get to level 3, we're not really working on physical health anymore. They've tweaked it, they've understood it, it's their lifestyle. By the time we get to level 3 is 6 months. So level 3 is the equivalent of level 1 and 2 together. By the time we get to level 3, we're really working on raising their level of consciousness around the other parts of their lives. The longest that any of my clients have been living this way is, since I've started working. I don't keep track of them, every single one of them, but I want to say 5 years, 6 years since I introduced my longer programs. I've been living like this for 8 years. So once you're in it, you might have ebbs and flows where you come into it, maybe for whatever reason. I know several of my clients, when the world was hit with COVID, it was a completely new, like, you get hit with curveballs in your life, right? And it just throws you off. That was a time when their lifestyle and everybody's lifestyle was really tested. How are we going to maneuver through this? So, but they reached out and got the support. Or older clients who I hadn't heard from decided that during this year of COVID, right, I'm not going to let this derail me. I need support. And that's when they joined the programs. So let me know if I'm answering that question for you, Minna. And did they struggle while traveling? I just told you, I'm in Buna. I had my burgers. I had my fries. There's no struggle. You enjoy it. You get to decide to what extent you want to enjoy the food or not. There have been some trips If I'm away for longer, then I prepare myself. I ahead of time, I know where I can then find my green juice in the morning, where I can find lemon water, and that stays constant throughout the trip. Like sometimes I'm away for a month or 2 months. So no, I'm not going to have burgers for 2 months. So when I'm in those situations, and I make sure before I travel, I find out, right, here's where I'm going to be, then here's where I'm going to get my juices, here's where I'm going to get my lemon water, and here's where I'm going to have a salad for lunch. And then dinner time is where I might be right. I can give myself a little bit of leeway. But I never struggle during traveling. I enjoy my traveling. I make a plan. I don't feel weak. And this goes for my clients as well. They all get to choose. Like I said, you go on your trip, you enjoy it, and they actually can't wait. They can't wait to come back and get back on track because of the way that it makes them feel. So no, there's no struggle. The struggle that happens while traveling is if you want something like a smoothie, you want celery juice and you can't find it. If you go to a hotel that doesn't give you options, that's the struggle. And then when that happens, they message me like, right, Dana, I'm in this hotel. Here are my options. What do you think I should do? And I help them with it. Did they drop it altogether along the way, then picked it back up? Some of them do. Yes, some of them. I mean, you heard Fedwa. The first time she did one of my programs was 5 years ago. Then she dropped it completely, and now she's back, but with a completely different mindset. So always keep yourself open to the opportunity. And there's no such thing as failing. Even if you go back, there's a reason for that. Whatever the reason is, there's a reason for it. But keep yourself open to your evolution, and you'll find that at some point it's going to lead you back to what's best for you. Her last question. Finally, what if I start off by the 10 days detox just to test it? Will I feel the improvement? Definitely. So I have the hormone reset program, which is going to be 14 weeks now, but I also have a 21-day detox, and it's a shorter program that you can also choose to do. And in that program, yeah, it's just 21 days. 21 days of strict detoxing. But when I say strict, I mean that's all you get. So there are no emotional pieces. I don't teach mindset. I don't teach how to understand your life. I don't teach journaling. I don't teach self-care. I don't teach stress management. None of that. It's strictly a 21-day nutrition program. And yes, you can do that, and you will feel the results just by doing that also. All right. Oh, Minnat is here. She says, I mean, they've been only for 6 months. So my point is it sustainable for longer than that? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely sustainable if you've done it for 6 months, that's it. By that point is when it's already become sustainable, and you just keep doing it. It's in the first 3 weeks, maybe the first month, where you're still working your way up to make it sustainable. You have to get yourself to a certain level where it's sort of like, the hill, like the hump, and you get yourself over, and then it gets easier. By 6 months, that's it. It's your lifestyle. And like I said, I've been doing it for 8 years. All of my clients who started with me 5-6 years ago, they're still doing it. The ladies who are in the level 3 mastermind, one of them I've been working with for 5-6 years. She's still doing it. Yeah, so definitely. Okay. Okay, great. You can start asking your questions, ladies, now. I want to talk to you about the hormone reset program and what you're going to learn. Namat, when is the next 21-day detox? So the next hormone reset starts April 4th. Because, again, of Ramadan, the next 21-day detox is a little bit different. It's not going to be a 21-day detox. It's going to be the Ramadan detox. So I have a special detox that I'm going to talk to you all about next week, if that's what you choose to do. It's a 30-day detox, specifically geared and built around Ramadan. It's not as deep as the 21-day detox because it's Ramadan, right? And then the next 21-day detox will be June 1st. So the next deep liver cleanse is June 1st, October 5th, and for the duration of Ramadan, we have a very special Ramadan detox. All right? Perfect. So let's talk about the hormone reset program. The hormone reset program, like I told you, ladies, it is 2 levels, level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is 4 modules, level 2 is 4 modules. Here's what the modules are about. When you join the Hormone Reset program next week on April 4th, module 1, that's the first module you're going to get. It's called Cultivate a Success Mindset. We don't even go into nutrition until module 3 because your mindset is the most important piece in this. Your mindset is what's going to control everything that you're going to do. So in module 1 is where I teach you the journaling, focusing on a goal, understanding your vision, and creating a daily routine out of all of that. Each module is divided into 2 sections, the emotional part and the physical part. So the success part, cultivating a success mindset, that's your emotional teaching for module 1. The physical teaching for module 1 is I teach you again in more detail what the root causes of your hormonal imbalances are. So I teach it in more detail. I touched upon it during the classes here. I go into much deeper in depth in the module, in module 1 about all of that. At the end of each module, you have something called a journal prompt, because remember, I'm teaching you how to journal. So at the end of each module, you have a general journal prompt that you need to complete. In the Facebook group, every single day, I'm going to give you a short journal prompt to help jumpstart your brain and to give you an idea and to sort of direct you of where I want you to be thinking. Also, at the end of each module, you have a little bit of homework. So I tell you exactly what you need to do to complete the homework, and you have 2 weeks to complete each module. So that was module 1, how to cultivate a success mindset. Module 2 is, one second, my favorite module is all about decluttering. Again, no nutrition yet. So this is the 3rd week into the program, and there is no talk of nutrition, except that for this round, you will get the Ramadan meal plan. I give you a general clean eating program. So it does include animal protein. It does include meals for iftar and suhoor and snacks and all of that. It is not the deep liver cleanse. The deep liver cleanse will come once Ramadan is finished in module 3. So you're going to get the Ramadan eating plan. Because it's not a requirement of the program, it's a bonus. You get to choose to what extent you're going to follow it. You're going to follow it 100%. You're going to experiment with it. You're going to try a few recipes, totally up to you. In all cases, you're going to have the support and you're going to be working on the other parts of the module in tandem with that. So module 2 is all about understanding your cycle. It's so important that you actually understand your cycle, that you track your cycle. So in module 2, I show you how to track your cycle, show you how to track the different symptoms of your menstrual cycle, the different phases of your menstrual cycle, how you're supposed to feel in the different phases, and you're going to start to track it from module 2 onwards throughout the program, because you want to be able to see at what point your symptoms start to decrease or disappear. And then we do the decluttering and time management in this module also. The decluttering is so important because it clears the energy in your home, clears the energy in your space, and the time management, because so many women feel like they just don't have any time to do anything. They're just all over the place. And I'm sure you're thinking right now, like, I don't have time to do this work. I won't have time to cook and prepare. We all have time. We all have the same 24 hours. Why do some people manage that time more efficiently than others? That's what I'm going to show you in this module. And then again, you get a journal prompt at the end of module 2. You also get the homework at the end of module 2. So for each module, you get a journal prompt and a set of homework questions at the end. Module 3, which is going to be for you ladies after Ramadan and after the Eid, this is the module where we get into the deep liver cleanse. So this is the cleanse where you are going to see the biggest changes with your physical symptoms. It's the cleanse that is truly intentional and geared towards releasing all those toxins and getting your liver back to where it's functioning optimally. The liver cleanse is only 9 days. So the hardest part of this program is only 9 days. The 9 days where you are going to give up the coffee, the coffee and the dairy and the sugar and the wheat and all of that. we remove those for the duration, but for the 9 days are when you also remove animal protein and nuts. Once the 9 days are finished, you bring back a little bit of animal protein, you can bring back a little bit of nuts. So we're really talking about, if we're talking about willpower, again, for lack of a better word, how many days are you going to have to be focused and exert willpower? 9 days. 9 days, ladies. That's it. Once the 9 days are over, you, again, because it's personalized. So once the 9 days are over, each one of you is going to tell me how you're feeling after the 9 days, and we're going to make a decision about how you're going to move on from the 9 days. Would it benefit you to repeat the 9 days? And most women do, because they're feeling so good and they're starting to feel the difference that they want to repeat the 9 days again. Or do we do a modified version of it for you? Or do we do even a third modified version? But I can't decide that for anybody until we've actually done the first 9 days. And those are the first, when you're done with those 9 days, the ladies always tell me they feel like they can do anything after finishing those 9 days. And it's just 9 days. So that's module 3. I also walk you through strategies to keep you motivated. And you are very motivated because you're going through this process with the ladies in the group. You're not doing this on your own. The ladies get really active during the cleanse. They share photos of their recipes. They share photos of every single meal. They share photos of them preparing the meals. When they feel like, because there's also an emotional cleanse that happens, plus a physical cleanse that happens. So as they come into the group and share, like today I'm feeling really sad, today I'm feeling really weepy, today I just cried all day, today I just slept all day, you find a lot of support and a sense of community because you're all going through this process together. You might not, and probably will not, find that support outside of the group. Everybody's going to think that what you're doing is strange, extreme. Nobody needs to live like this, but you know why you're doing it, and the ladies in the group know why you're doing it, so they're going to be your support system during the process. And then we go to module 4, which is the last module for level 1. We talk about blood sugar levels, and in this module, now that you've gone through the cleanse and you've gotten your energy levels back up, is where I give you a workout routine, and I give you advice on how to work out, the best way to work out when we have hormonal issues, because there is a specific way to work out. You have to find the sweet spot. When we are looking through at hormonal imbalances, too much workouts or too stressful workouts can backfire. So we need to find the workout that works best for you. All right, so when you complete module 4, you're done with level 1. Then we start level 2. Typically you start level 2 depending if there aren't any vacations, there isn't Eid, there isn't summer break or something. Typically we start level 2 the week right after level 1 finishes, and we start with module 5, 6, 7, and 8 in level 2. Just by the way, tomorrow when you get your email, your daily email, I'm going to have this breakdown for you in that email, just so you know. So level 2, as the name suggests, takes it all to another level. So in level 1, we do a basic liver cleanse. In level 2, we do a more advanced liver cleanse. We look at stress. So at this point, we've created that foundation. We've created the nutritional foundation, all the emotional work, and we've started work on mindset, but then all the emotional work starts to come up and it needs to be addressed. So we look at stress management. We look at self-care. We look at really understanding your emotions during level 2. So module 5 is called stress management and adrenal health. Remember, I told you your adrenals are those, the glands that produce the cortisol and adrenaline. So how do we address those? How do we make sure they're stable? How do we make sure the body's not overproducing cortisol? That's what we do. And this is the module also where I talk to you about the supplements. What are the best supplements to take? Which brand of supplements? Because there's a million, zillion, trillion brands and supplements in the market all over the world. Only about 1% of them are the ones that you should be taking. And I tell you exactly which are the ones that are actually, they're not synthetic, they don't have additives, they don't have chemicals, they actually work for you instead of work against you. So I tell you which supplements, which herbs, and which essential oils. So essential oils are extracted from flowers and plants. They're botanicals, and there is an essential oil basically for every ailment there is, from headaches to indigestion to night sweats to cravings. And so I give you special essential oil blends in level 2 in module 5. And again, you have a journal prompt at the end of the module. Again, you have homework that you need to complete. Module 6 in level 2, and there's a lot of self-care practices, that I share with you in these modules. Module 6, we move on to thyroid health. So we talk about the adrenals, we talk about cortisol, adrenaline. Thyroid is a big one. And a lot of the women, even if you're not diagnosed with a thyroid condition, you have a lot of symptoms of a thyroid that's just overburdened, right? A thyroid that is just, it's not doing too well. Even though the tests are normal, we know from your symptoms that your thyroid is struggling. So in module 6, we go deep into the thyroid and what causes the thyroid to be weak and what you can do about it. That module also is where we do a progress check, because it's halfway in the program. So we do a progress check to compare where you were at the beginning of the program to where you are at that point. And there's forms to fill out. There's a form you fill out from day 1 when you sign up, and then we revisit these progress forms periodically during the program. Module 6, we also talk about something called seed cycling. You might have heard this. Basically using flax seeds, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds. They have been shown to support our menstrual cycles, but they have to be done in a certain way. That's why it's called seed cycling. So we do that also in module 6. Module 7 is where we do the advanced liver cleanse. So we did a regular liver cleanse in level 1. Level 2 in module 7, we do the advanced liver cleanse. And again, as the name suggests, we go even deeper into cleaning the liver. And this is where you see improvements. You definitely see your symptoms start to subside in level 1. But when you get to the advanced liver cleanse is when you take your healing to yet another level. And again, it's 9 days. After the 9 days, we revisit your symptoms. Do you need to repeat the 9 days, or can we move on to a modified 9 days or a modified plan? It's individual per client. Not everybody ends up doing the same thing, because everybody has different symptoms. Everybody has a different, everybody reacts to the cleanse in a different time frame. So there's no way for me to know until we do it. We also talk about boosting sex drive in module 7. As women, it's not normal that your sex drive plummets, and it's supposed to stay. If not even, then it's supposed to increase. So we talk about that. Module 7, we also go deep into your relationships, because as women, one of the main reasons or driving force behind our emotional eating is indeed how our relationship with our partner is functioning. How is it supportive? Is it mutually supportive? Are you feeling supported? Are you feeling heard? Do you know what the dynamics are between you and your partner? And there is incredible techniques to help you improve your communication to get what you want. Mind-blowing stuff when I was first introduced to it, and now I teach it to my clients. So we do all of that in module 7. And then the last module is module 8, which is basically our celebration module. So module 8 is the last module of level 2 and the last module of the program. I take you through an exercise of really taking stock of your emotions, again, taking stock of how you feel about yourself, taking stock of how you think about your emotions and think about yourself, and to give you a conclusion, to wrap up the program. And we do a little celebration at the end of that. And that's it. Those are levels 1 and level 2. Like I said, we start April 5th. This is the time for you to focus on you ladies. Let me see if there's any questions before I go on. Namet, thanks. You're welcome. Nashwa sounds great. It is great. As you can see, this is not a diet. Not a diet in any sense of the word. Even when I give you the meal plans, they're very detailed meal plans with a lot of explanation as to what you're eating and why you're eating it. It's an educational program. We're way past the phase where somebody can just give you a little piece of paper and say, go home and do this by yourself and come back next week and let's weigh you. We're way past that. Nashwa, at what time of the day the course will be? So you get your materials online. So as soon as you sign up, you're going to get a username and a password to access this information online. You get to read it at your own time, whenever you want, at your own pace, as long as you complete it within 2 weeks. The only thing that you need to, and you don't even need to attend it live. Once a week, I do a coaching video, and it will be at 4 p.m. Cairo on Mondays. It will be recorded, just like these videos I'm doing here. If you attend live, amazing, you attend live. If you can't, you catch the replay. So actually, all the content and all the deliverables are there for you to access at your own pace. I would love everybody to attend the classes live because I have a chance to engage with you one-on-one, but a lot of women work or their kids have activities or they have something. So 1 week they're able to attend, 1 week they attend the replay. The point is that you have access to it all. I'm not holding you down to you have to be here at this time, you have to be here at this time. I'm also available in the group every single day to answer all of your questions. So you can come in whenever you feel you have the time to post a question. I do ask you to come in at least once a day to check my posts, to read everybody's questions, because it's a learning experience. You're going to learn a lot from everybody in the group. You're going to learn from everybody's questions and my answer to their questions. And they're not just questions about nutrition. You're going to see, especially in the first month, where I do a lot of the transformational coaching on mindset and around journaling and around your thoughts. And I teach you the thought model to change your mindset. A lot of the coaching that happens in the Facebook group is going to be, it looks like I'm answering one person's question, but actually everybody needs to read it because it applies to everybody. So I need you to give yourself at least 15, 20 minutes a day to go in the group and read. And if you have a question, you need to ask me the question. And then our 1 hour coaching call is Mondays at 4 p.m. If you can make it live, amazing. If not, you watch the replay. Let me know if that answers your question, Nashwa. Farah, would you recommend getting any blood work done prior to starting the program? Only if you want to. I don't require you to. If you feel like you need to have those benchmarks, like let me do a blood test at the beginning, let me do a blood test at the end, by all means do it for yourself, but I don't require you to do that. Any other questions, ladies? Any other questions for me? Here's the thought I'm going to leave you with today as you are pondering whether to join the program or not. Think you're teetering. I know that this is good for me. I know that this sounds good for me. The critter brain is saying, you're gonna give up your coffee. How can you start your day without coffee? How can you give up your bread? How can you give up your cheese? You're going like this and you're going like this, which, like I said, is absolutely normal. But we want to override all the thoughts that the critter brain is trying to use to hold you back. And this is how you're going to do it. I want you to think of your future self. When I say future self, I'm talking about you in 5 years. Think about you in 10 years. Think about you in 15 years. God willing, we all have that time and space and we all get to see old age. I want you to think about yourself. Let's just say 15 years. Think about yourself in 15 years. What do you look like? In 15 years, are you getting out of bed, energetic and vibrant and excited to start your day? Maybe you've got some grandkids. I mean, I don't know, in 15 years, I'm probably going to have some grandkids, inshallah. What kind of a grandmother are you going to be? What kind of a wife are you going to be? Are you going to be in a space with your partner, with your husband, where you're done with children, you're done with, being a mom, you have time and space for yourself, you have time finally to enjoy your life. Maybe you're in retirement, maybe you're with your husband. Are you, hopefully by then we're all traveling normally and seeing the world again. Are you traveling? Are you enjoying your life? Are you coming? Are you going? Or are you an older lady who has no energy? Her bones hurt, her body hurts, she's lost muscle tone, She wakes up every morning and she has somebody at home who has to help her because you have a hard time walking to the bathroom by yourself. You can't work out anymore. You used to walk a few times a week. Now you can't walk at all. You wake up, you have your little breakfast, you open up all your pills, you take out the pill, the schedule for your pills for the week and put it in one of those pill boxes. You sit on the couch and maybe wait for your kids to come visit you or wait for your grandkids to come visit you. You know, then it's lunchtime. Somebody brings you your lunch on a tray because you're too tired to get up and make it. Your husband is sitting on the couch there just flipping through the channels. Maybe you have diabetes, maybe you have hypertension, maybe you have cancer, maybe you're starting to get forgetful and your kids are worried that it might be dementia, it might be Alzheimer's, it might be whatever it is, but mom is really not making any sense anymore. Mom is not remembering anything anymore. We don't think mom should be left alone. She's having a really hard time functioning. She's having a really hard time remembering. Both options are open to you. Look at the women in your family. Look at your mother. Maybe your mother, she might or might not be at that phase yet. Look at your grandmother. If you have a great grandmother, think about the women in your family, your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunts. Look at the mothers and grandmothers and aunts of your best friend, of all the women that you know. And look at how they are getting older in life. Because we're all going to get older. Nobody's stopping that process. We're going to get older, but it doesn't mean you have to age. So I want you to think and hold that vision of yourself. I'm guessing that none of you want the vision where you are weak and tired and sick and potentially becoming a burden on someone. We want that version where we continue to be as close to possible as we are right now, because it's 100% possible if you make the choice. So I want you to think of your future self. Think of her and think of her in detail. What does she look like? What does your face look like? You can get older and get really, really old looking and get really, really, really wrinkly before your time, or you can get older and still look vibrant. I'm not going to say look young, look vibrant and still have a glow about you. You can still be working out every single day. You can still have a spirit and a joy and an excitement for life. You can still go and enjoy life with your husband and your kids and your grandkids, God willing. You can do all of that pain-free, because you can still do it when you're old and not comfortable and maybe push yourself because you really want to be with your kids and really want to be with your grandkids. But there's a world of a difference between pushing yourself and being uncomfortable and taking painkillers and taking all the medication and not having to do that. And being vibrant and full of life and disease-free and pain-free. But here's the thing, ladies. You have to start working on your future self today. She's not just going to happen out of the blue. The one where you get older the traditional way, that's going to happen. You don't have to do anything for that one. She's going to happen, she's going to happen. You do nothing, that's what's going to happen. But that other version of you, she's not going to happen by you doing nothing. That version of you in 10 years, 15 years, you are creating her today. You start creating her today, every single day, meal by meal, day by day. So you have to make the decision for your future self today. If you want her in 10, 20 years, you need to start working for her today. And you need to think about what kind of advice is she going to tell you? Do you think your future self is looking back and saying, who's watching? Noha, I think you should just stay where you are and do nothing. Keep eating what you're eating, keep, having the inflammatory foods. So what if you have some symptoms? Everybody has the symptoms. I think you should just put up with it. Nobody else in your family ever complained. Nobody ever made a change. Why should you be the first one? Do you think she's telling you that? Or do you think she's saying, oh my God, Noha, now you know you have a way. I hope you're going to take the decision to help you get to where I want you to be. It's completely up to you. Is it going to be hard? I said it's not easy, but it's simple. And the results are worth it. And when we say it's not easy, it's not easy for the rest of your life. It's not easy for just a little bit. You know, you have two options. It's like you have two tunnels. One takes you to the traditional, older, you know, tired, sick version of you. So there's that tunnel. You know what's at the end of that tunnel. The other tunnel is it's a little bit dark at the beginning, but you know that at the end of it, there's an incredible light and an incredible transformation. And they always say any kind of change is awkward and difficult until it's beautiful and elegant. Any change. So that part is part of the process. And allow yourself to fail forward. Allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to evolve. Allow yourself the potential to become your future you. Don't take yourself out of the game today because you think you can't give up your coffee, or because you're scared of giving up bread and cheese. Do you really think your future self is going to thank you for that in 20 years? And of course, having said that, you can still bring your coffee back later. I still have my coffee every day, but I've figured out how to make it work for me. I'm not dependent on my coffee. I don't need it to get up and start my day. And I teach you all of this in the program. So click on the link, join us, ladies. You won't regret it, and your future self is going to thank you. Let me see. Noha, I wish I'm not too late. It's not too late, Noha. I don't know if you didn't join me from the beginning of this class. It's never too late. The amazing thing about our bodies is as soon as you give them the chance, they work with you. They can't wait for you to give them the chance. You give your body the chance. You follow the recommendations. You follow the plan. You get the support, and you work really close with me. You need to work closely with me. When you're in the program, I remind you of that every single day. You are going to transform your health, and it's not too late. It's never too late. Neshwa, it is never too late. It is never too late. Thank you, Neshwa. And Mirvet is in the program. Mirvet, what is your question? See, Mirvet is already in the program. In theory, she could say, I don't have to watch the classes anymore. Khalas, I'm starting next week. Starting next week, I'm going to have the modules. I'm going to have Dana, you know, on speed dial. I can ask any question but I want. But she's here, still watching, learning, committed, excited, and she has a question. So please, Mirvet, ask your question. And anybody else who has a question, go ahead. We start April 5th. This is a 14-week session instead of 10 weeks. Because we have Ramadan, you get a special Ramadan meal plan as a bonus. It costs $497, ladies. It might seem like a lot of money, but think about what you get at the end of it. Level 1 is $497. Level 2 is $497. How much money have you already spent on things that don't work in the past 20 years? This is the one that's going to work. And not only is it going to work, it's going to be the last program you ever have to do. And it's going to prevent you from getting sick. There's no price that you can put on that. Having said that, there is a payment plan. You can make 2 payments of $298 or 4 payments of $150. And if you need an easier payment plan, let me know and we can work it out. That's never an issue for me, all right? Mirvat's question, have you ever worked with someone suffering from IBS and is it treatable as all doctors say there is no cure? What do you think, Mirvat? Of course it's treatable. Of course I've worked with IBS. Of course it's 100% treatable. Doctors say there is no cure because they don't know the cure. Because if doctors were able, and this is, my father's a doctor, I have all respect for doctors. If a doctor tells you there's a cure, are you ever gonna go back to him again? If a doctor says, here, Mirvat, get rid of wheat and dairy and sugar and processed food, you don't have to take medicine. You never have to go back to him again. There is a cure. Every single ailment in the body, every single ailment, including the worst ailments like Alzheimer's and cancer, have a cure. Midwest, I'm already on day 4, no dairy, no wheat until we start the class. She's not even in the program. She hasn't gotten any information yet. And her future self is telling her, you know, why wait? Get a head start. She's overcome her critter brain. She's getting a head start. And how does it feel, Midwest? You've removed dairy and you've removed wheat. Type in the comments and tell the ladies. Have you survived? Have you died? Have you seen that funny meme? You know, you gave up wheat and dairy, but have you died? No, right? You're just going to feel better and better and better. So, oh my goodness, it's already 9:04. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm waiting for all of you to join me in the program. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to hold space for somebody's transformation. I am there for you 100%. I want you to be there for you 100% too. Click on the link, sign up. We start April 4th, sorry. If you have any questions at all, send me an email, send me a message. Tomorrow, I'm giving you your sample meal plan. So whether or not you join the program, tomorrow I'm giving you a sample meal plan that you can start to implement right away. And Monday's our last day. The 9 days have passed, ladies. Monday's our last day. And then if you have signed up, we do have the bonus class. So if you haven't signed up in the link for the class, please do that. Our absolute last bonus class on Tuesday is how to overcome emotional eating. And I am going to announce a special surprise on that class also. So make sure you've signed up in the link for the class, because Tuesday morning in your daily email, you will get the Zoom link for that class. That class won't be here in the group. It will be on a Zoom call. And then we'll really be finished on Tuesday, except of course, if you're joining me in the program, then our journey is just starting. We start next week for 14 weeks together, all right? Mirva says, I feel great. Honestly, I can't wait to do the entire cleanse properly. Amazing. I love the enthusiasm and I love the spirit. And I can't wait to have all of you join us on this journey. Have an amazing evening, ladies, and I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place.